The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching.
In a bold and controversial move, Kurt Russell has ignited a firestorm in Hollywood by taking a stand against what he describes as the excesses of woke culture. Known for his fearless roles on screen, Russell's recent remarks have sent shockwaves through the industry, revealing a deepening divide over how far the line should be drawn between social responsibility and creative freedom. As Hollywood reels from his unexpected critique, the reactions from celebrities and industry insiders range from furious backlash to surprising support. What has Russell said to stir such intense reactions, and how is this clash shaping the future of entertainment?
Well, you know, these are these things where, first of all, I was in a situation, we do what we call the dog and pony.
Right.
We're out doing the dog and pony selling a picture, and you get kind of, sometimes you get what you feel is slightly ambushed by somebody who's really got an agenda, and that's sort of, I think, that's my opinion of what happened to me the other day. The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors.
In a recent interview, Kurt Russell, known for his iconic roles in Hollywood, made some headlines when he shared his thoughts on gun control and its connection to terrorism. The conversation began when Russell was asked about his stance on gun control laws and whether he believed they would deter terrorists. Feeling somewhat caught off guard by the question, Russell explained that the situation seemed like an ambush. He felt the interviewer had an agenda, which made him cautious about how he approached the topic.
Get political. It's just something I can't stand watching. So having said that, no, I was kind of asked to put it in context somehow with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my personal feeling is that there's a big difference between Fantasyland and reality. Fantasyland is what we do. You're either writing something, writing a song.
Russell highlighted an important distinction between the world of entertainment and real-life issues. He pointed out that as an actor, his job is to create fantasy. Whether it's through movies, television shows, or other forms of entertainment, his work is about telling stories that take people away from reality. However, when it comes to real-world issues like terrorism and gun control, he believes these are serious matters that require careful consideration and discussion. Russell made it clear that his views on these topics are separate from his work in Hollywood. He doesn't enjoy seeing entertainers get involved in political debates because he feels that it often complicates things and can take away from the seriousness of the issues at hand.
Writing a book, doing a movie, doing a television show, that's Fantasyland. And that's where that stuff belongs. In reality, when we're dealing with things like terrorism and whatnot, we're all going to have different opinions on how to do it and how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Mine happens to be that I think there's a very strong reason.
Diving deeper into the discussion, Russell shared his personal thoughts on gun control and the Second Amendment. He expressed a strong belief in the right to bear arms, which he feels is a fundamental part of American history and freedom. According to Russell, the Founding Fathers included the Second Amendment in the Constitution for a reason, to allow people to protect themselves against potential government overreach or tyranny. He referenced the American Civil War, suggesting that without the Second Amendment, those who fought for their beliefs wouldn't have had the chance to defend their way of life. To Russell, the right to bear arms is essential to maintaining the balance of power between the government and the people.
Founding Fathers had for the Second Amendment, and that is that no government ever hasn't had to fight its own people, and its own people hasn't had to fight its own government. We had our Civil War. If that Second Amendment hadn't been there, those people would not have had the opportunity to do what they considered was defending their life, their way, their style of living.
Despite his support for the Second Amendment, Russell acknowledged that the debate around gun control is often more about the excesses related to gun ownership rather than the amendment itself. He noted that many people are concerned about the misuse of firearms and the potential dangers that come with them. Russell expressed disappointment that discussions around gun control often become heated and lose their civility. He believes that it is possible to have a respectful and productive conversation about gun laws without resorting to anger or hostility. He emphasized that finding common ground is crucial, especially when dealing with issues that affect everyone.
So I agree with that. I think that's an important part of our existence, and it's basically that simple.
I think that people more object to the excesses of the Second Amendment, not the Second Amendment. It's these
And that's where the debate comes in. I think it's too bad that the debate can't remain kind of civil too.
Russell also touched on the emotional impact of terrorism and how it influences opinions on gun control. He recognized that when people experience the loss of a loved one due to violence, it can deeply affect their views on how such tragedies should be prevented. He understands that everyone everyone has different perspectives and that these are often shaped by personal experiences. Russell emphasized that while people may have strong feelings about terrorism and gun control, it's important to keep an open mind and consider other viewpoints. He stressed that, ultimately, everyone is in this together and that finding a way to work together is key.
And that's what's hard to do. It's one of those things that, it's like I talked about, sometimes talking about terrorism. Whatever we do, and we all have our opinion on that too, whatever we do, we're a little late for the people who've died. And if you know somebody, or you know a child that was maimed in that situation.
As the conversation drew to a close, Russell was asked if he would continue to speak about political issues as an actor. He responded with a sense of reluctance, noting that he doesn't particularly enjoy discussing politics. However, he acknowledged that if he is asked about it, he will share his opinion. In a lighthearted moment, he expressed that if he has to be part of these discussions, he's glad to be doing it alongside someone he respects.
I got a strong feeling that one's opinion has a tendency to change. So I just leave it open for interpretation by all different people and just say we're all in this together and we're going to hear each other talk about it.
Is that the last time you're going to talk politics as an actor?
Till I'm asked to later, I'll be asked in an hour and a half about it. Once they trot that pony out there, I go let it go.
Through this interview, Kurt Russell offered a nuanced perspective on gun control and the role of entertainers in political debates. He reminded everyone of the importance of separating entertainment from real-life issues and the need for thoughtful, respectful discussions on matters that impact all of us. His words serve as a call for unity and understanding, even in the face of divisive topics.
Yeah, I don't understand the concepts of conversation of the gun culture. We've lived with guns since, what, the 7th century or something? I don't know.
We all know that right now, guns is a trope. It's not a trope, it's a totem, it's a metaphor that disenfranchised white guys need. It makes them feel...
In a recent discussion, Kurt Russell shared his thoughts on the complex and historically rooted topic of gun culture. He began by highlighting that guns have been a part of human history for centuries, tracing their significance back to the 7th century. This long-standing presence underscores how deeply ingrained firearms are in societal structures and personal identities. Guns have evolved from practical tools to powerful symbols that resonate with various groups.
Feel good because they're being...
You can say what you want. I don't agree with that. It's not my thing.
But it's statistically...
Well, you can look. If you think gun control or something like that is going to change a terrorist point of view, I think you're like out of your mind. I think I think anybody is. I think it's absolutely insane. The problem we're having right now is that we don't have...
Russell described guns as more than just physical objects. They have become symbols or totems for certain people, particularly those who feel disenfranchised. He pointed out that for some, especially disenfranchised white men, guns serve as a metaphor for empowerment and self-worth. This symbolic role is significant because it helps us understand why some individuals might cling so tightly to their firearms despite changing societal norms and laws.
When the concepts of how to turn it around and say, you may think you've got me worried about what you're going to do. Dude, you're about to find out what I'm going to do. And that's going to worry you a lot more. And that's what we need. That will change the concept of gun culture.
When discussing gun control, Russell expressed a strong skepticism about its effectiveness. He argued that simply enacting more gun control measures might not alter the mindset of those determined to cause harm, such as terrorists. According to him, these individuals often find ways to bypass regulations and continue their harmful activities. This viewpoint challenges the belief that stricter gun laws will significantly impact those with malicious intent,
as you call it, to something of reality, which is if I'm a hockey team and I got a guy bearing down on me as a goaltender, I'm not concerned about what he's going to do. I'm going to make him concerned about what I'm going to do.
I get that.
To stop him. That's when things change.
Obama's point was that...
Russell suggested a more proactive approach to dealing with threats, drawing an analogy from sports. He likened it to a hockey game where a player facing an aggressive opponent needs to take decisive action. By shifting the focus from just controlling access to firearms to actively addressing and confronting threats, he believes society could better manage the risk associated with gun culture. This approach, he argued, would lead to a more realistic understanding of gun culture and its implications.
The guys who are on the no-fly list because of terrorist connections can get a gun pretty easily.
They can also make a bomb pretty easily.
Yeah.
So what? They can also get knives and stab you. What are you going to do about that? They can get cars and run you over with them. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that?
They didn't kill the people in San Bernardino.
Oh, but they've killed others that way.
In reference to former President Obama's stance on gun control, Russell acknowledged a significant point. Individuals on the no-fly list can still easily acquire guns. This issue highlights a gap in the effectiveness of current regulations. Russell expanded this concern to other means of violence, such as bombs, knives, and vehicles, suggesting that focusing solely on gun control might not address the broader issue of violence.
Haven't they? Yeah. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Outlaw everything? That isn't the answer.
Just put some
That
control.
just put some controls. What? So the people who want to defend themselves can't?
No, not so you can't. Just so the idiots can't get a hold of them. That's
Do
all.
you really believe they're not going to? Are you serious about that?
The discussion also touched on the potential consequences of stringent gun control measures. Russell argued that outlawing firearms or imposing severe restrictions might prevent law-abiding citizens from defending themselves. He emphasized that while controlling access to guns is important, it should not come at the cost of diminishing the ability of responsible individuals to protect themselves and others. This controversy isn't just about one man's opinion, it's a reflection of a broader conflict that's reshaping the very fabric of filmmaking and celebrity culture. Stay tuned as this story develops and the industry's response becomes clearer. For more updates on this ongoing battle and other hot topics in Hollywood, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.